Hi guys!
Hello everyone!
Welcome back to our channel. I'm Megan.
I'm Dwayne.
And we are the Blended Family Marriage Coaches. That's who we are and what we do. If you're new here, welcome to our channel. Our tagline is marriage is hard. Blended family marriages are harder. And that is so true, and especially in the months to come.
Right.
Welcome to the holiday season in your blended family marriage. Stay tuned. We're going to give you 4 tips on how to survive the next couple months getting straight through 2021. Well, can anybody survive the end of 2020? We're going to find out. We're going to do our best. We're going to give you the 4 tips we've implemented in our blended family marriage, and we've helped others implement as well in order to make it through this very stressful season. So for the best advice in your blended family marriage, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below. Ring the bell.
Ding dong.
So that way you don't miss a single episode. We post our videos on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is 8 p.m. on the Central Standard Time and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So that way you guys can watch us right before you go to bed or first thing in the morning. Right. I have a hard time with time conversions, but what I do understand is the next couple months can be rife with stress and all of the things. So stay tuned. We're going to give you some tips on how to get through this. These times can be really, really hard. There is plenty of opportunity for stress. From a change in work schedules to school schedules, dealing with family members that you probably only have to deal with a couple times a year, changing custody schedules, all of it can be so hard. And I believe it's even harder on a blended family because of that change in this custody schedule. Holidays and breaks and school breaks usually mean that the custody is a little bit different during this time. Not only that, so is the normal every day-to-day schedule. And the kids are probably all jacked up on candy and sugar and all of the things, and so are you. So this is a very stressful time. So we're going to give you some tips. The first tip is to create your own traditions. Over the next couple of months, you guys have an opportunity to either decide what traditions get to stay. For example, we have some traditions that will always be. If there's a Christmas Eve service at the church that we're attending, we're going to be there. There's different things like that we make sure that our family knows this is what we do, this is who we are. But we've established some new traditions too, and we encourage you to do the same. Don't assume that just because you've always done it this way, you have to continue doing it that way. Don't bring the traditions from your previous marriage into your current marriage unless they're going to fit. Don't try to fit them if they're not going to fit. If you don't want to go to the family's house on Christmas morning, don't. If you don't want to spend time with certain family members, if you'd rather just stay home, by all means, right now, I'm giving you the permission to do that. Schedule another time to celebrate this time together. Maybe it can be a couple weeks before you guys can all get together and celebrate and do a gift exchange or whatever that you typically do. But don't feel pressured that just because this is the way it's always been means that's the way it always has to be. Don't play into those lies. Absolutely. Create your own traditions. One tradition that Dwayne and I have established is that on Christmas Day, we go watch a movie. I don't know how we feel about that during COVID or if anybody has made any good movies recently, but we love going to a movie theater on Christmas Day. Another tradition that we have established is that we don't put up Christmas decorations. We will decorate a little bit, but for the most part, we just don't, because we don't want the clutter and we don't want we don't want to add to the already busy season. So those are just some traditions that we've established in our blended family that will fit us. We didn't want to take the things that we did with our previous spouses or with our kids previously into our current marriage and into our family. Our kids know what to expect from us. Our kids understand what our traditions are, so they don't have any higher expectations, and they know that what we're going to do. Do you guys maybe have some traditions that you do now that you're in a blended family that you didn't do previously with your children? Let us know in the comments. Are there some traditions that maybe it's time to reevaluate and figure out if they're going to fit with your new blended family? Let us know those in the comments too. Let us know how we can support you. We love hearing about your blended families in the comments, and we love interacting with you guys. So let us know.
So tip 2 is to be present over presence. I think so often we like to give gifts because we haven't been present. We haven't been a part of our children's lives or our spouse's life. We've been, the term absent husband or as absent. I can talk. um, absent wife. One of them too. And so during these holiday seasons, really make it a priority to be present when your kids are around, when the family is there and stuff. That's kind of the time to put the phone away. That's the time to maybe even turn the TV off and spend that time with your kids and giving your full attention to really understanding what are they going, what are they doing, what are they going through, find out what's important to them during this time. You can really use it as a time to reconnect with them. So being present instead of giving gifts or presents underneath the tree is a much better gift, and that's really something that we have implemented in our marriage. We honestly stopped giving gifts. I don't even know when we started doing it.
I don't think we ever started. Early on in our marriage, we made the decision that our kids would remember the time with us,
right,
and not necessarily the things that we were able to give them.
Right.
The reason why we did it is because we could very easily feel it coming to a competition, not necessarily anybody's fault, but the kids naturally think, oh, can I bring this to mom's or dad's, or dad or mom got me something better, and that's kind of what goes through their mind.
Right.
Well, the thing is that we decided just not to compete, and we don't exchange gifts. And I know there's a funny meme that goes around, that says, your gift this year is my presence. You're welcome. And that's absolutely, we do experiences over gifts, because those are things that nobody can take away with them from them. The kids don't have to decide, is this experience something that belongs at mom's or something that belongs at dad's? The kids don't have to decide, can I like this gift and still like my mom or my dad? And it's so important. We took all of our kids ice skating one year. We do those kind of fun things with our kids. And even if it's just a family game night or several family game nights in a row, those are the things that I hope that they're going to remember. And that's, again, one of the traditions that Dwayne and I established early on, is that we aren't going to give gifts. We're not going to go into debt any further during this season. We're not going to expend ourselves in that way, because it's our time and our kids' time that means so much more to us. I'm not saying that you have to go as extreme as Dwayne and I have, that you guys can't do the gift exchange, but make sure that your presence, your physical presence, is more important to them than whatever you might put underneath the tree or exchange during the Thanksgiving feast. Remember that that's also a time that you guys get to be grateful for the things in your life. Don't be stressed about what deals you can get the next day. That's another funny meme, but I think it's so true, that leave it to our country to spend the day we're supposed to be so thankful for, mauling each other in order to get the best deal to put underneath the Christmas tree. That steals so much time away from your kids and away from your family and away from your marriage. It's ridiculous, and it's not worth it. So we always say presence, as in our presence, over presents, as in gifts or material things that you will find and unwrap. And that's tip number 2. So this one, tip number 3, is maybe for new blends or new blended families. People are going to be meeting your children or your stepchildren for the first time during these seasons. The family members that will be able to meet your children or your stepchildren, the extended family, the church family, they really should know ahead of time who is who belongs to who, and what the custody schedule is. They obviously don't need to have it memorized. But there has never been a more embarrassing or frustrating time for our kids than to be introduced to family members. And this only happened a handful of times. I'm not meaning to insult anybody, and it was Dwayne and I's responsibility to do this, where they were like, whose kid is that? Why are they here? Or, and it happens at churches too. If you guys are involved in a church community and you don't typically have custody of your children, and during this time you're going to be so excited to take them to church, don't walk into that church and expect people to automatically know and welcome your children. Introduce them beforehand. I'm so excited to bring my kids to church on Christmas Eve service. You're going to be able to meet my son. You're going to be able to meet my daughter. All of those things should be discussed beforehand. So that way it doesn't feel like they're a stranger in the home of their parents. That's so easy to do. And, they are only there for maybe, typical custody schedules a week during the winter break, maybe every other week during the summer, and then every other weekend. Maybe. That's that's stretching it. So the people that are in your day-to-day life don't necessarily know your family, but it's your job to make sure that your family doesn't feel like strangers in your normal everyday today life. And there's been times that Dwayne and I have failed at this, and there's been times when we have done really good at this. And it's so important, and it means the matter of your kids being comfortable in your home and in your life and fitting into these traditions that we talked about. So this is an important one. So tip number 3 is to make sure that your kids are going to fit in to your life. If they aren't typically there, make sure the people that they're going to interact with know who they are and are excited to meet them and know a little bit about them, so that way it's not awkward for the kid, because there is nothing more awkward than walking into somebody's house and expecting to introduce themselves and give the history and what do you want to be when you grow up and all of those things. And don't have those kind of expectations for your children. Introduce them before they get there. So that's tip number 3. And finally, tip number 4, you guys, during this season, we say this all the time. We want to establish a home full of grace and forgiveness.
Right.
And during this season, you need to make sure that your house is established through grace and forgiveness. Give the benefit of the doubt, not only to your spouse, but to your kids as well.
Right.
Assume that they mean the best. Assume that they're not out to get you. Assume that the world's not against you, even though it kind of feels like it during these stressful times. Give the benefit of the doubt. Extend a lot more grace than you normally would. If the boundaries need pushed back a little bit, push the boundaries back a little bit. If bedtime means whatever time everybody falls into bed, that's what bedtime means. Enjoy this time together and don't stress about the things that you really don't need to be stressing about during this time.
Right.
So grace and forgiveness is the final tip and the most important one. We didn't mean to do that, but we definitely saved the best for last. Just always default to grace and I forgive. That's the way to get through these next couple of months. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us in these 4 tips. We'd love to know how you implement these. If you struggle at all with some of these stressors during the season, or if you're still looking for a gift and what to give your spouse and how to bless your marriage, not just around these seasons, but also for the coming year and the coming life together, we have a really exciting program that we are launching this month. Actually, next month, but it is really close to the end of the month, and we're doing it just in time so that way you guys can give this as a gift to each other during this Christmas season. We are so excited about this, and we believe that it will bless you all the way through 2021. If you are looking for a way or a unique gift to give your spouse to bless your marriage, please schedule a call with us. We'd love to give you all the details. The link is in the description box below, and we would love to talk to you more about it. Thank you guys so much for joining us again today. We so appreciate you. Please don't forget to subscribe by clicking that button right there down below. We so appreciate our subscribers. Ring the bell so that way you don't miss a single episode as we post from the Blended Family Marriage Coaches. Like this video if you liked this video. And tune in next time. We're so excited to see you guys again. Thanks again. We love you guys. Bye.